Now, I did receive microfiber mankini.
What does it say on top of it? Hot stuff? No.
Yeah, that's the type. The company is aroused.
Aroused.
I need some hot stuff very this evening.
Is that the pelvic thrust movement?
Yeah,
with the box?
Stuff very tonight. It's all in the camera. The crotch all in your face. I don't know. I wear this on the OnlyFans.
The Podical sound.
Podcast, you can't win. Talking a good game, you can't win. Topics never lame, you can't win. Win.
Watch your average Joseph. Marvelous.
It's ridiculously funny.
I'm Marvelous, aka 38 Special, aka or BKA, better known as Marvin Carlson.
Where are we going with this? Why? How come you immediately leaped and took Carlson?
Maybe lead the show then. How about you lead the show?
I'm not your average Joseph, no AKAs this week. I'm Robin to Mr. Carlson's Batman. There's no other sidekick. Mr. 38 Special. Mr. 38 Special.
He is I and I am him. Welcome to the Podical Sons podcast. Like, comment, subscribe to all of the above, all streaming platforms possible. You can see this video on YouTube, podicalsons.com, and now on Spotify. You can also hear these lovely voices on Audible, all the way from Audible to iHeartRadio, back to Spotify, to Google Podcasts, and iTunes.
And to our listeners, because I'm sure our viewers can tell by now, this is gonna be I wear my sunglasses in the daytime special.
That's when you're supposed to wear your sunglasses.
Inside in the daytime special. And you know, regular viewers, you know what that means. You know what that means. But we're gonna give you a show.
I don't know what that means.
You don't know what that
means. Why I can't be just on my cool shit?
Yeah.
Cause you know. Seems like only days ago I was 137.
Just once.
And then now, pow, 38 Special. So, different attitude comes with 38, just saying. But salute to everybody for the birthday love. I do appreciate everybody from the hollers to the shout outs to congratulations.
This was how did it feel being in the city this time around? Because you usually take this time and do the venture stuff.
I don't appreciate Toronto enough. I'll be a first and foremost person to say that.
Okay.
And I feel like a good portion of people who live within the GTA, they tend to take certain things granted because
I'll agree that I don't appreciate Toronto enough.
So I
probably
try.
appreciate Toronto better more than I do.
I try.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. I think that's what I always look at stuff as like, oh shit, you did this weird, and I just be like, yay or nay. Is it for me or is it not?
Right.
Those are the kind of things I just ask about to see. But other than that, I like seeing other sides of the city and really look at, and I feel like that's the very Caucasian part inside of me. Because I look at it where
it's very Caucasian of you.
It's very Caucasian of me. Thank you. Marvin is a Jewish name, so shalom. But I look at it where, to me, I've always used to say like Caucasians like to go and do things outside, no matter what the weather look like. If it's snowy as shit, they want to do some shit outside.
No, if they want to do something outside,
that's it. They just, no matter what, they want to be outside. And I think I'm not for the winter activities, but if it's something where I know I don't have to wear too much clothes and I don't have to shiver my timbers,
right?
See something new, especially within the striking range of the city where I can drive to and kind of just take a deep breath and be like, oh shit, I'm here.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So with the city especially, I like downtown, I love the metropolis of New York City.
Yes, I can agree with that.
I can walk around specific parts within the downtown Manhattan area.
Yeah.
And just feel at home. The air, the ambiance, the noise, all that means a lot to me. Mm-hmm. Toronto has that aspect. So Toronto's like one of my second favorite downtown. Like downtown Cleveland has nothing compared to downtown Toronto. Facts.
Okay.
Facts. Even downtown Miami, nothing compared to downtown. To me.
Really?
To me,
right.
Facts. I look at it like that. Like maybe down.
Is it because it's so condensed? Do you think that might be?
I think that's what it is.
Okay.
I think part of it is condensed, and then it's different parts and stuff. It's like it's constant movement.
Right.
It's never a slow. Like I want to say, probably like on weekends and stuff, like in Cleveland.
Yeah.
In downtown Cleveland, you know the times where it might be intense and might be slow.
Got it. Okay.
You know for a fact, without me even saying too much, Young and Bloor will always be busy.
Always. Yeah.
If it's now, it might just be the Sunday drivers and stuff out because the podcast being recorded on the Sundays.
Right.
And people doing their little 1 or 2 commutes. If it's a later night, whatever, you know it might be the cabs and the Ubers and stuff moving and people going to destinations, other parts and stuff. And
Right.
it has that kind
It's
of
a sports
piece.
hub, so it's the downtown core is constantly. Yeah.
Right. So, and then I look at it stuff as where the land space, like you can drop downtown Cleveland into Toronto and still be so much downtown Toronto and stuff left. Right. And remember, downtown Toronto a lot of times looks so much like New York. That's why they film so many movies here. There's like downtown Toronto, I like that vibe.
Yeah.
So I just said, let me just take in the downtown vibe on my time, my world, my, feel like, like a Black Mariah Carey has the dick.
Is there any spots that you've heard of within the city of Toronto, or maybe I'll even expand a little bit and say Ontario, that you've heard of, that it's a place to either go like to take in the ambiance or sightseeing, or that you haven't been at that you would like to see? Or
I've never been to Sable Beach.
Me neither.
I never been to
Actually, no, sorry. The time that we went, the time when we went looking for spots to put an Airbnb at, Sable Beach was one of them. But it was like when we went, it was like off season, so we didn't actually get to go to like the beach or anything like that.
Yeah, Sable is one of the places and stuff, and I wanna go to was it Sault Ste. Marie?
Sault Ste. Marie.
I just want to see what the whole feel is, because I heard it's more like a native kind of Aboriginal,
right?
Like that whole indigenous kind of vibe.
Yeah.
I want to take in more of that, and then the world's nickel comes from there. So I just feel like a quick high life thing. Like for me, I look at this stuff as I really, really and truly, I want to see the Bolivia like salt flats. But I got nothing else in Bolivia that I want to go see.
That you do like to see.
So I'm looking at stuff. I'm like, yeah, I can Google this shit, but it might take like, if I go there, I'm going with my own fucking photographer, or I'm going with somebody with a sharp ass iPhone.
Yeah.
And we gonna take the fuck out of some flicks, and I'm be like, I paid all these $1,000 just to get here, just to do this.
Yeah. Right.
Other than that, there's nothing else really there. Like I look at it stuff. You've been to one resort, you've been to them all.
Yeah.
Like they all have the same kind of pieces and mechanic parts to it.
See,
where I'm looking like I want to do other shit.
So what you probably would have to do is like find other little like spots that's near Bolivia, so you can like do like maybe do like an island hop type of thing, and then like knock that off your bucket list. Okay, I'm in the area. Let's go to this island now. Let's not let's go, as opposed to just because you're right. After you do that one thing in Bolivia, what else are you gonna do?
So that's why like even like with yesterday for my birthday and stuff, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna go downtown.
Right.
I'm gonna just vibe. I'm like, because if I don't like the vibe in this place, I can get my ass up and just go to another place.
Yeah.
Get my ass up and go to another place. Because there's tons of places and stuff to go to. And it's so funny and stuff. Like, again, being a city with so many type of things, there's speakeasies in different places you didn't even think. Then there's other little lounges you never even probably tried. Like, I want to say, if you got to work for fucking Blog, TO.
To know these like little spots.
To say you've been to all of these things, because when do you have time? I remember when it came to me finishing school, I almost went out 7 days a week. I cashed in on the last day. My body was tired.
Right.
I went to Rockwood on the Mondays to go party. Sunday, Phoenix. Monday, Rockwood. Tuesday, Century Room. Wednesday, that was the Crocodile Rocks and all the other random spots where you can meet the people that want to drink and just kind of chat your ear off and shit.
Yeah.
Crocodile Rock, the women used to buy drinks for men. Who run the world? Girls. Thursday, you come back around and stuff. Circa was popping at the time. And then Friday, all the other clubs and everything just kind of opens right the fuck up. Right? The Sunday, I was like, my body's weary. I need some real life, like night sleep and shit like that. And I couldn't go. And I was like, somebody's like, why didn't you go here on the Monday? Or go here and start a rock? There's so many things to do.
So many things. But I think I like downtown core just for that, because everything is condensed and everything is in such a walking distance where it's like you can either bounce from club to club, and if that club is congested or packed, you can just go to another spot and it'll still be a vibe. I think the only other spot that I liked that I would say it wasn't like all congested in it, but it was just a vibe in itself, was the time we were in Montreal, and we were just walking down that one strip, and it had like all these like those little same thing you were talking
outdoor
about.
patios,
outdoor
and the
patios
bars
in the front end. But if you look down in the building, like you'd see like a little cut, and like you'd see like another set of patios with another set of bars down inside the cut, and I was like, oh, this is different. It's like it's not. The city's not laid out the same, but they kind of keep that same district like tight. I like that. So that
and I can't fuck with Montreal like that.
No,
I think the thing is about I can't fuck with Montreal and stuff is that I think once you leave Montreal,
right,
and then you're not in regular English slang, you're in the French slang.
Yeah.
It's not inviting. So if it's not inviting, I don't really want to fuck with it. Like, and I don't really like for myself. I don't really have a desire to go to Dubai,
right?
Because I look at it where you're putting so many rules on me that I don't really have these kind of rules and stuff whatever here.
Yeah.
Right? So I look at stuff, I don't want to go anywhere where I can't be me. I'm not saying I'm going to go there to break the law, because when the Rome do what the Romans do,
right.
This is the reason why like I'm for Brittany Griner being locked up.
Right.
Because she broke rules on their land.
Right.
So I'm not going to go in their land and go try to do Marvin shit when I can't do Marvin shit.
Right.
Right? I'm 38 special, baby. I got to move different out here. If I'm going to fire off like Hunter TV show, showing my age because I'm dated, I want to move like that. And certain places, if I cannot be me, or like Montreal, I tried to talk to a woman one day. Told you, McDonald's, you seen her?
Yeah.
Y'all motherfuckers speak English there. All y'all people from Montreal and stuff, whatever. You don't like me, fight me. That's my slogan.
Right.
How you doing today? Sorry to bother you. You find you attractive. Omelette du fromage? I'm sorry, I don't speak French. Then the chick from McDonald's is like, quarter pounder with cheese? Yeah, that's me. I'm like, motherfucker. You can speak English.
Yeah. Qu'est-ce que fuck?
We drove past, overshot Montreal for the bit. Hi, sir. Sorry to bother you. We believe we are lost.
Right.
We're trying to get back to Montreal. Montreal? Yeah, that's where we're going. We're going. Work with the hand gestures, please. I beg. Please, I beg. Duck goose? What?
Duck goose. It can be a bit of a problem if you don't know the language, for sure, and definitely if you wander outside of Montreal. But even with saying that, I think one time we played out there at some spot, but you know when you can tell the hood spots when you go to certain spots, you can tell. That was a hood spot. But there's only one time that we were there. But all the other times, it's like I'm in either the city of itself of Montreal and that core area that I was talking about. But apparently there's live spots where you go and it's just like they'll find the English speaking people who don't speak the French as the first language, but. And majority of times you'll find the groups is of Haitian descent. There.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I get that totally. It's like anytime I'm going on vacations, like my wife, she loves to go to like different islands and stuff like that. But her brother, who's her twin, you can't get him to go anywhere but Jamaica. And it's that same thing. Like, he knows the lay of the land. He's comfortable there. He can do whatever he wants there. You know what I mean? It's no like, oh, don't come off the resort or don't come out for this. Because, no, I'm from here. I know the lay of the land. I know how to operate and maneuver.
The Dominican was that was part of like a thing for me. Because I'm looking, I'm like, but I just want to explore like doors. Like, no. Wristband and you stay here and everything like that. And then it was more, it was with the ex, one of the exes and stuff at the time. And then with her, she spoke more Spanish. So they kind of gave her a little leeway, like, all right, well, you speak a little Spanish, so you guys will be okay if you guys go out there.
Right.
I'm like, yes. I'm like, yo, we better not get kidnapped in this bitch, but I just want to see what the layout is. And it was dope because even like a barbershop I went to, I'm like, I just want to line up.
Yeah.
When I went to the barbershop and stuff, dude spoke, what did he say? He spoke 6 languages.
Oh, nice.
French, English, Spanish, German, I think Mandarin and something else, because he said these are the tourists that they get.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, so he said at one time he was like the barber that would work for a specific resort. He made enough change and he ended up owning his own little things, but he tried to do the to and fro, but it's kind of like his thing took off, so that's why he's like in the closer town.
Right.
So I'm like, oh shit, so I'm like, that's dope.
Yeah.
I would have never knew that if,
You stayed on hotel grounds, right? Yeah.
I like to interact. That's just me. And I need to have more than one major task to do when I go to set place if it's not visiting for like family or friend purpose. So if I'm gonna go to Paris, if I'm gonna say I'm gonna go to the Eiffel Tower, that's not my only mission.
Right.
So that's just me.
Sorry, with that being said, we'll wrap it up with, did you do anything special or anything new on your birthday inside Toronto?
You're damn right. And you want to pay me? Fuck you, pay me. I tell you about that later. This ain't the place.
This ain't the place.
I'm going to keep something, reserved with the 38 special. Now, I did receive microfiber mankini.
What does it say on top of it? Hot stuff?
Yeah, that's the type. The company is aroused.
Aroused.
I need some hot stuff, baby, this evening.
Is that the pelvic thrust movement?
Yeah,
with the box?
Stuff, baby, tonight. It's all in the camera. The crotch all in your face. I don't know. I wear this on the OnlyFans.
That's when you graduate from the feet poses. You put on your mankini.
Yeah, I'm gonna clip my toenails first. So we're gonna start off with the foot clips, with the feet photos. Then after that, do like a slow pan out.
Listen, man, you should just start off with the bidding first. How much do you pay to see me in the mankini?
Go fund me. Hey, go fund me.
You reach. What would be your figure that you got to reach to don the mankini?
10 racks.
10 racks?
10 racks.
10 racks, GoFundMe. Someone set it up for him.
10 racks. And I will pose in this thing. And if we bring it to like 20 racks, I'll cook breakfast in this thing.
If you want to see Marv cook breakfast in a mankini, 20 racks, we got to get that GoFundMe too. 10 racks, he'll don the mankini.
Let's go.
20, he's cooking breakfast in it.
Let's go.
Could you imagine you had a mankini out with an apron?
Yeah, man, just get the cheeks out, man. Just get, just... Might have to do some...
Any bread left? Nah, I'm ass out.
I have to do some manscaping, some serious manscaping for that.
Yeah, you're going to have to do some serious manscaping.
Yeah. It's just like it don't cover too much the land. It doesn't cover... It's a Borat, man. I'm the black Borat if I'm wearing that. Let's get to the polls. First poll said, who is Elon Musk more like, Iron Man or Lex Luthor? And 75% said Lex. Do you agree or do you disagree?
Nah, I think we're piggybacking off of last week, man. Lex, we started off, when the whole argument came about, the whole Tony Stark, I kind of think just fit him well because of his nerdish technological background. But no, Lex Luthor is that guy. And he's that guy plus a villain. So it made perfect sense.
Okay, so you said nerdish. Now, what makes Iron Man nerdish? Just because of the tech?
Just the tech stuff.
So if you fuck with tech, you're a nerd. Yeah, we're gonna be more nerded out than anything else because the future is tech, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Yeah, it's not nerf or nothing. It's tech or nothing.
It's
now.
tech or nothing.
It's tech or nothing. I want to say like the solid carpenters and like the builder types.
Right.
They're still gonna be around. They're
You
still
think
gonna,
so?
for sure, because you're gonna come to a point where I feel like the conversion rate to convert over, let's say, a high school dropout or somebody who's not really going too much and stuff with their world. There's where you can jump. That's a landscape where you can jump in and you can go from like nothing to something within time and direction.
Right.
I think formal education for a lot of things is needed. I don't think for certain fields like that, too much is needed. I think there's more safety courses.
Right.
So I feel like if everybody else is tech-wise going to be formal educated,
yeah,
the builder-wise and the carpenter-wise and stuff, no. I think it's just going to be skill set, trade, education stuff, if need be, or something that can be taught. Be like, see me do this,
yeah,
and we can send you on your way.
See, because the reason why I asked is because even like with that industry, I've seen a lot of stuff as far as like the 3D printing technology.
That's tech.
Yeah, like actual AIs, like robots, like putting together like prefab from factory, come in, set up, and then like a lot of like the boxable stuff where they have robots just pre-assembling stuff. Man, I think if y'all ain't gotten into STEM yet, that may be a start, maybe a small foot in. The rise of the machines, bro. I think like those smaller stuff, even like the remedial task stuff, I think those are gonna be like the first to go. The funny thing is when I was working at like Chrysler, working on the line, they were saying they would have a lot more robots, but because of the design of the cars, certain things still need like a human hand to finesse it, right? Because you might have like a plastic part, right? That plastic part, it may not be to spec. It may be off by like millimeters. That millimeter is enough to throw off a machine trying to put it in when it's set to a minute precision, where a human hand can go in and say, "Oh, it's off by a little bit. I can massage it. I can make it fit." They're saying as soon as they can make robots with dexterity like that, then those positions are gone. But until now, they're still kind of safe. I was talking to a group of young men at the Harry Jerome Awards last night, and one of them worked in finance. Both of them worked in finance. One was he's a programmer coder. And then the other dude he worked in banking, but he didn't say specifically what he does, right? So then I asked him about the whole, where do they see everything going? I mentioned the whole cybersecurity thing. He said, yes, that's definitely going to be a big issue. But he's saying, yeah, right now, if anything in coding, and like you're still doing the coding part, you're temporarily still going to be the guy, because as everything transfers over, you're going to need somebody to code it, because he's like the tellers, all of that shit's like, it's gone. Forget it. So as soon as it's a remedial task that can be repetitive and you just have to punch it in one time, Bob's your uncle. Well, Bob's my uncle, and so forth like that. But yeah, so it's so funny as you mentioned it. Like, it came to my mind when you said the workers, because it was just I would say like last week I was watching this they had this one machine. It was a mixture of 3D printing. So it's set up like you know how they have the typical 3D printers, how they have the one arms that it's just like a one platform like this, and then they have a machine in the middle.
I just know they have a machine, like a space where they print everything up.
It would be like that, but on like a large scale. So let's say it would take up like maybe a few dozen yards.
Okay.
about the space which you would have a typical house on. And then it would just basically just has the one arm. It just looks like one piece, no scaffolding, just like one square piece where the machine now just pretty much just goes over and just from the plan itself, just a mixture of concrete, and then just use the concrete mixture just like how they would use like a 3D printer, and just by layer. The shit look crazy. It's just like layer by layer. You just seeing this thing form, and I'm like, man, ain't gonna be jobs for nobody left.
I think for now we should be good, because I think that even with the 3D printers can't print out like titanium and certain solid kind of metals and stuff
solid
like
type
that.
of metal.
When they master that, or they have that ability and stuff too, then it might be a different discussion at that time. Because if you're sold on the pretense that this house was made with even 3D printing, a lot of people might not buy it. Right? I still feel like there's still a good portion of people be like, I'm still old school, where I know this can stand up some test of time, some elements compared to like this.
Right.
So I feel like we're still not in that land space and stuff, whatever, to be like a cause of fear. I just looked at it stuff as where your tech people, if they're just considered nerdy and stuff because they just know tech, and we're still using language like that.
Yeah.
Then what do we say to like the other side? So the tech is nerdy, negative. So what's the positive?
No, but I don't even think the tech is being looked at as or nerdy is being looked at as.
Well, you
negative.
said it.
No, not as like a negative. Yeah, they're techie. They're considered techie, but as I don't think it's being looked at as a negative light no more. To be a nerd, I think being a nerd is cool right now.
Being a nerd is cool.
I think being a nerd is cool right now.
What is a nerd now?
Well, that's it. Somebody who's, if you're considering someone who's in technology a nerd, like pretty much.
But I would. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't consider anybody.
You wouldn't consider that.
No, anybody with technology and stuff, whatever. You seem like God to me, because worst case scenario, some shit breaks down. Kind sir,
yeah, please
step up to the plate. I'm not gonna be like, you there, asshole, who I've been making fun of for the longest. Fix my issue. like. You're talking down on somebody that has to fix your issue.
And that's what I'm saying. And they're now at the part of that power structure where you really can't talk down to them, because no, they are the guys who are there to fix the issue.
Elon Musk.
They're now the cool guys. Those are the guys you want to know.
Yeah. Elon Musk. He just still moved that Lex Luthor.
He's villain though. He's not. No, he's
still Lex Luthor.
He's still Lex. He's still Lex Luthor.
Wow. All that came from that. The next poll was, would you know a fraud if you saw it? And 55% said yes, they would know when they see him.
I'm gonna go with it would have to be the level of fraud. If it's the normal coming through my mail, I've won this, that. Yeah, I can detect that.
Majority of frauds, can you? I want to say like the average frauds that you know of. Would you be able to spot them out?
If I know of it already.
So okay, you know about credit card scams.
Right.
Right? You know about PPEs.
Right.
You know about World Vision.
Right.
So if these things came at you and stuff, they're like, oh, we can secure a PPE loan and stuff for you. You can do whatever the fuck, or fraud your taxes and get this amount of change. You know those from a mile away.
Exactly.
From previous experiences, not even from yourself, but from other people's knowledge.
From other people's knowledges, and even in some cases from being burnt myself. Right.
Right. But now, that doesn't. Crime can't stop.
Oh, never.
Not on planet Earth.
Never.
Not on planet Earth. So crime won't stop. But there's still constantly more and more frauds and more scams and stuff that even to be developed. Like even right now, we're talking about the AI and the fake voices.
Well, I was about
like
to mention the first time I seen that Donald Trump picture being arrested, I thought that was real.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was real. I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
So then there's a perfect example of fraud being taking place and me being taken by that fraud.
And the low ass percentage said like, yeah, like no, you can't get me with fraud. I can spot it a mile away.
I think the more advanced technology gets, that even harder it becomes.
Yeah. I mean, it's so dope. I was looking at I can't remember. I saw like something on YouTube one day, and it's about how they make like certain currencies with the let's say the counterfeit money.
Right.
And certain currencies have like holographic stuff and all that type of stuff. And these guys, they actually use like whatever one I seen, the guys were masked up, like balaclavas and everything, and they were doing, I think, the euro.
Right.
And the euro has like some spots on it where it's like shiny and everything. They use basically like glitter they buy from the dollar store.
Yeah.
And they kind of put the glue a type of way so that when you sprinkle it, it looks like a fresh ass euro with the shiny. I was like, oh shit. So it's like you gotta pay fully attention to this thing. Cause they said a lot of times they'll tell people like, yo, if you're gonna spend it, they ask them like, where are you gonna spend these counterfeits? I'm gonna spend them in places stuff a little light or a little dark. If you're going like club settings, in and out, whatever, you're good.
Right.
If you're going to like bright ass malls or department stores, might be a problem.
Might be a problem.
Because a lot of light, they didn't want to hold shit up. You're like, hey, this is fake. So I couldn't spot fraud. I can tell you that for a fact. I've been shimmy scammed and all the above. I'm not saying that it's gonna stop, but the more I learn about them, the more I'm better at dealing with them.
Yeah.
I had a homeless dude or less fortunate dude. He scammed me one day and man, wolfed up on me at Sheridan too. Rolled up at Sheridan. He came with a gas container. He's like, yo, my man. He's like, my van broke down and I was wondering like if I can give you my watch, it should be worth about like $85.
Right.
But even like $20 so I can put gas and stuff so I can get myself home. And I was like, damn, bro, keep your watch. Like, you know, I got some coins for you, you know? I gave like some loonies and toonies.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I appreciate it. Motherfucker came back the next week. I'm walking up and down the same area.
Brought you the same watch.
Same thing. I'm like, hey man, fuck you and your watch. Okay? You scam artist.
One time online, I got this jacket. It was supposed to be a Canada Goose.
Mm-hmm.
It took us several months to get here, and by the time it got to me, it was a Canada Loose.
But yeah, the stuffing was flying out of the shit left, right, and center. It was
and it's so funny because I think a couple of weeks in after not getting any responses, I kind of like, nah, this is not cool. This is definitely fraud, right? So I was lucky enough that I bought it through my Visa, so I alerted them and so forth like that. So they reimbursed me and everything like that.
All right, that was what it
but it still ended up coming like months after. Yeah. I was like, yo, this is a Canada Loose. This ain't a Canada Goose.
Loosey goosey. We are done with the polls. What we got next? R.I.P. Jerry Springer.
Jerry.
Jerry went off to the final fight in the sky. He ain't coming back. He's going to give his thoughts and praises and words. Their final thoughts. I can't even remember the last Jerry Springer show final thought. That was something I'm going to go Google that a little bit later. Like his last final thought.
Because I think he had it was like a monologue, like he made it to a full-out monologue, right?
Mm-hmm. It was a nice little monologue and stuff to tell you about all the chaos, how titties and this was flying, but he's like, we need to love each other. Yes, I paid you to come on my show and act a fool and act the ass, or show even your ass cheeks, dance to the tub of jello, but we need to be one with each other and respect each other.
Did they ever do mud wrestling? I feel like they've done mud wrestling.
Jerry's biggest, to me, though I remember about Jerry's biggest episodes, he had one where like the Ku Klux Klan was there and they were answering questions. I was like, shit. And they had this one black dude there in the audience. He was just there. He's like, yo, he's cracking his knuckles. He's looking like, Red Rover. We call ass whooping over. He's like, he's ready for war. I'm looking like, yo, this man looks tight.
Mm-hmm.
And then I refused to wear clothes. And I think that's the reason why, like, whoever bought like the VHS, the 2 Out for TV,
right?
I'm like, I just need to see this episode, but they just kept bringing it into clips.
Yeah.
So they were doing it in clips. So I was like, no one was taking the full episode because the one lady, she's just there, full buff, pubic hair and all. She's like, what is it? And they didn't block anything out. I was looking like, this is an educational show. We should take this in.
This is Jerry.
But yeah, Jerry be missed. It's just that his death has it's like I said, it's shrouded in kind of mystery. It's cancer. They're not really discussing it yet or disclosing it as of yet.
Right.
Maybe because it's still fresh and I guess autopsies have to be going down.
Yeah.
But Jerry had a lifestyle too.
He was in the 70s, no? Around
Yeah, he passed in the 70s.
Passed in the
But that's what I'm
70s.
saying. He still had a lifestyle. Because
Right.
even if you have a lifestyle in your 30s,
Yeah.
you can still kick the bucket in your 40s.
Yeah.
The lifestyle, he was the women, the drugs, and all that type of things. I think he kind of slowed it down. They had a Netflix show about the 90s, and he did speak on about how his show, or people from his show, spoke about like how he would conduct himself offset, but it would make sense why certain things wouldn't work out health-wise for Jerry. Right? And then much as older age and stuff is definitely a factor and stuff too. I don't think too many people really live past the age of 80. So I think once you're getting into the, I want to say 70s landscape,
Right.
in today's times, in today's climate with the air, the pollution, the shit we eat,
And again,
70 is good.
And again, the lifestyle he was living, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. 70 is good.
70 is good. So RIP to Jerry. Your final thoughts on Jerry? Nothing?
I'm just saying, I'm just thinking of how that era of talk shows, one host in the daytime, that's gone now. And it's just the views, the red table talks where it's just a group of either women, group of men, or group of women and men. That's now kind of dominated that whole daytime scene.
Because the thing and stuff is that I think the powers that be understand, let's say, the talk space world.
Right.
The talk space world was, I guess, for the few privileged folks who might get like a radio show or might get like a PBS kind of monologue time to discuss about a particular space or particular thing.
Right.
Enter YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about why cats should talk more.
Right.
You're entertaining this thing, you have a following of why people should talk to cats or why cats are around meowing in different codes. If you pay attention to different homonyms in a meow, you might understand some, and this now has a following.
Right.
This now has a community. So now it's just kind of like, well, what if we set up a community because everybody's now leaving the TV landscape to go to the digital or to the YouTube or the internet landscape? What are they mainly doing that we can replicate and stuff without the cost or the overheads for everything? Because to have a show like fucking 24,
Yeah.
you got to dig in your
for
bag.
Sure. Yeah.
But then these people and stuff are doing those one-off convos and monologues and everything. Fuck, we can do that, but we can produce star backing or give people like a star backing kind of world,
Right.
where they can now leave that digital space to come back to TV.
Okay. Got it.
So that the Oprahs and all that type of stuff, can they still pop off? Probably not, because no one really watches TV like that.
Yeah.
Price is Right is still popping. But Price is Right, people put that in staples and stuff. Like certain generations put that in staples and like how it's still going.
Right.
They might not remember Bob Barker, but they know that. Dun, 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 they know that theme.
Yeah.
Right? Other than that, we need our news local. We need our weather local. Whatever shows, reality shows. If we're into that, we might fuck with that. If we're still into the talk space world, we'll leave the TV. We'll go to the internet. If we just want to take in the talk space world, we can't see it, we're taking a fucking podcast.
Right.
But the TV landscape, that land, they realize they're running low. They're running low on ideas over there.
Yeah.
So they're going to be shaking it rough until...
Yeah. Because I mean, reality TV as a genre, it seems like it's been around for almost 30 plus years now.
Probably.
Because
the oldest show I can recall is Real World.
Right. And what's really, I don't see a replacement for that type of format anytime soon.
Yet. I feel like for TV, it's weird because I want to say you need more people interaction.
Right.
Right? Let's say you're watching, you bring back up 24 again. Let's say you're watching 24. This episode sucks. Now, right? Let's say it might have less action than the other episodes and stuff. On YouTube now, say they run that episode, motherfuckers say, I don't like this episode. This episode sucks. At this particular time, the show goes to shit.
Right.
People are interacting with this now. TV, you can't interact with that.
Right, yeah.
Like you might see like a mask, whatever the fuck, and like text this number to vote. Other than that, you can't interact with this.
No.
Right? With this, you can comment, you can make noise, you could probably get your tribe and it's like, yeah, I hate this part in this show too. Like, yeah, what's up with them? The quality of the show went to shit. And now you got a lot of people saying like they're not fucking with this product anymore. Right? You have no say in that land space. They never had anything formatted for that. And that's what I'm saying.
TV tried to do something like that. I think it was the Wii controllers, the one that looked like a little small monitor, where you could watch a TV episode with like a group of people, and like comment back and forth with you guys like.
I never heard
like
of
a watch. It's almost like similar to like a watch party.
Okay, no, I never heard of that.
They were doing.
How long ago was this?
I don't think it was that. Maybe 2 or 3 years ago. But it never really caught on, and it was like that.
Netflix was doing that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and Netflix started doing something similar towards that, and there was somebody else that was doing a similar thing. But I remember with the Nintendo Wii. Like certain of the TV shows, you could do Apple was the Apple box. You could do it with too, where like you had your own community and like a community of people might watch a specific show. Then y'all would like watch it together. Then be able to comment with each other and this, that, and the third. And they had like little interactive stuff. So TV tried. I guess that would be their version of trying to pull people from like that whole internet experience world, that whole YouTube experience, community experience world, into something like that. But I just never caught on.
I look at it as check this out. Every TV, damn near like major station that you know has a streaming platform.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because they know for a fact that their fear is that the ratings or to make the money from the ratings, you're not watching on that specific time, but they will consider their moneymaker in time. Like the advertisement people stuff will say like, well, 24 is the show. We need to throw these commercials in between the 24 segment. Now you have nowhere to say like, all right, 24, because like within the show, 24 would be like 42 minutes long. And then so you have like about 20 minutes of commercials within that hour. Now you can't interject the commercials and stuff if it's on the internet.
Right.
Now let's say somebody has a YouTube premium and stuff, you're like, well, part of the YouTube premium thing, like, yo, if you can make some change from that. But other than that, y'all ain't gonna see we gonna see your ads. How you gonna see the commercial and stuff if you can't? You're not even home from work at the time when the show wants to run.
Yeah,
you might set your PVR to record if you have something like that to record, and then you might play it. But even if you're probably like, I'm into the show, I don't got time for these commercials. You be right past the commercials.
Right.
TV is losing their thunder.
Yeah. That's what to say. It's like even right now when I think about it, between screen time, mobile devices is I would say probably mobile devices and maybe a computer, then TV.
For most people, because they made their phones into computers, though.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, that's gonna come with the territory when you're able to make this play Netflix or this play this and this play that. Right. You're gonna get into that landscape and stuff, but TV with commercials and all that type of stuff, it still runs. But it's for the selective group.
Yeah. I would say it still runs, and then cable's dead. So for that format where you would traditionally have TV on, like that's no longer viable. And because that's no longer viable, your only thing to do is streaming. Or is to have it on a streaming platform.
No, piracy just jumped into play and stuff with that because there's certain channels that would be key and essential to be considered even like basic cable. Like CNN, I think was one of them. I don't know, like how you guys used to run things here in Canada. I think like up to 29, you have to pay for more channels, and that'd be considered basic cable.
Yeah, I think so.
In America, a lot of places and stuff, you probably might have like 6. Okay. You might have 6, because when they did the switch over from analog boxes to digital boxes, like with the analog could probably pick up 6 without a receiver.
Right.
And then when they start going into the digital landscape, that place was more already those basic cable type of channels. So CNN is kind of embedded into a lot of people's basic, right? So I don't think, like, it's not like they don't need CNN, but they will flock to what they know.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, training, conditioning.
Yeah.
You saw your parents always read paper. You might have been the kid, the stuff after them to kind of read paper, and your kid might have been the people that just kind of just constantly watch news. And that might have been an easier way to digest the news format for them. And then now, like, bits of news like CP24 and stuff wasn't around like that. It was long form back then.
Yeah.
Now we're getting short form. But again, it's changing with the time and the wave.
Right.
CNN, let's get to the Don Lemon shit. You have these heavy hitters, CNN and Fox News. Fox News is more of a straight, basic cable broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
They both let go their top anchors at the same time. Coincidence or not?
No, I don't think it's a coincidence. I think with the Tucker, I know they were beefing with the lawsuit type, the lawsuit. Also with the way he runs his shows, he rubbed a lot of their sponsors wrong, so they weren't making any. His show didn't have any sponsors, so they weren't making any money sponsorship wise from his show.
His show had no sponsors.
No sponsors. So that's why after what he was just sprouting off of the mouth because he didn't really have anybody to defend him. But I heard they were getting heat from just like regular sponsors for other shows on the network being like, yo, he's at that prime spot. I might have to pull from, just from what he's saying, I might have to pull away from you guys altogether. So he was becoming a liability. And then I think they got rid of him now because I don't think they wanted him around for the whole primaries thing, right? Because he carries so much weight for them. So the time that they canceled him, I was like, well, how do you cancel somebody who carries so much weight for your institution? But then when I heard he has to stay silent for like the next 6 months because that would have been when his contract is officially up. And it's not like they canceled him or anything. He walked away from his position. So it's like, okay, he walked away from his position. You didn't really fire him, but at the same time, it kind of works for you because you weren't making any money off of advertisements for his segment, which was prime time. Now you can kind of just, I don't know, maybe make some money again from that segment.
Heads have to roll. I feel like heads have to roll to recompensate for the $70 million that they lost. So I think heads have to roll. And if you cut his head, let's say you're paying him 50 to 60 million, you need to reimburse back the 70. You cut his head, you put somebody else that you just pay like the 20 and stuff. So whatever money you're making from that time slot, it'll eventually be back in the green and stuff within a matter of 2 years time frame instead of keeping him for an additional year, where it'd be more of a deficit.
Right.
Don's situation, I feel like Don Lemon just been racking up tickets. It's been too wild, too off the cusp, but I think I kind of like when he gets zesty to the women.
Yeah.
Because he's gay.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, you can't use your women privilege on me. I don't like you. It's like I'm into sausage. So when they're trying to win him over, it's kind of like, what are you doing?
I heard one of the things, and I'm not sure, so I'm not sure how true it is, but I heard he once boasted how they couldn't fire him because he was gay and he was black.
Oh, how the turns have tables.
Being zesty for so long, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that might have been, he might have had that little power until at some point someone said,
his ego,
fuck you being gay and fuck you being black.
I think his ego is not his amigo. Like, there were several times where, yes, it is your show, and yes, they like you for the opinionated aspect of it, but I don't know. I don't want to say it's interfering with you being you, but you still at work. and you still have a job and certain type of.
And like it or not, some people like you for being you. That you're getting.
I'm without a doubt. I mean, that's the reason why. But then again, it's still a facility paying for set individual, or the company set paying individual.
Right.
We pay you to act accordingly like this.
Right.
You want to go off the cusp? It kind of worked in our favor in this extent, so we'll keep it.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work in our favor and stuff, you've been warned.
Yeah. Because I kind of feel that's like what happened with the whole Donald Trump and the whole Republican Party. When they was like, he's not good for the party, this, that. And when they realized they couldn't beat him, it's like, all right, as long as we can give you some guidelines for you to run the Republican Party, you're our guy because you got the people behind you. So we're just going to run with you.
Mm-hmm. But I think, to Don's point, I don't think he could have rallied up that many people to help fight for his position without being I think because he's gay and he's black,
right?
It'll turn into a form of like identity politics. And that's an arena that if you leave it long enough, it'll die on its own by itself.
Right.
Because I just feel like right now, North America's position and stuff is definitely all about like, I guess the LGBT world, for me, my standpoint. And if it gets to certain things where, let's say, okay, how long have we been having this argument about this bathroom and trans people using whichever washroom?
Oh, it's been a good while.
It's been a hot minute. Yeah. And a lot of times and stuff, I think if they feel like if they leave it silent, it would fix itself. But it's not, because eventually you're going to have the population of the trans people like going up, and the demand is going to be like, hey, like the fuck, where are these people going to use the washroom?
Right.
So either you say, yay, they can go in here, or no, they cannot go in here. But eventually, I think the sweeping under the rug is not going to be, is not going to suffice.
Right.
So they're going to have to answer to some things. And I think a lot of times, especially with Don's situation, to be like, we can let you go and stuff now, or we don't have to answer to shit for a period of time before we really have to answer for some shit.
Yeah.
So smart move. You get his bread. They still owe him like $20 million into his contract.
Right.
And yeah, the best of both of them. Now those motherfuckers could reunite the worlds if they put egos to the side to get this bread. They just jump on the same show. I would watch it.
Tucker Lemon?
Puck up to lemons?
Tuck
up to lemons?
Tuck up the lemons?
Tuck up the lemons? Yeah, that sounds like a spicy zesty.
Lemon Tucker?
Lemon Tucker. Go on. I like this. Lemon Tucker.
Lemon Tucker.
Lemon Tucker. That's a show I watch.
I tune in for that.
Hi, I'm Tucker Carlson. Hi, I'm Don Lemon. What the fuck? Hey, yo.
What's going on?
Y'all see this?
Yo.
Y'all see this right here? I'll break my neck for that.
This is Lemon Tucker. Yo, that sounds epic.
I will watch it. I definitely watch that. On a political side, my boy Phil Jackson, Zen Master. We still calling him Zen Master?
I think we still can call him Zen Master.
Okay.
Nobody else in the NBA has taken that title.
Zen Master don't watch the NBA.
Zen Master no longer watches the NBA.
Zen Master said after the Black Lives Matter movement took place within 2020, he stopped watching. He said basketball got too political then.
Has there ever been any other political movements before the Black Lives Matter? Really?
In basketball?
Yeah, that really...
Not to my knowledge. That was the wildest.
That was it.
That was the wildest and stuff. I want to say some people were trying to kneel in NBA.
Yeah.
And some of them would just join hands and lock hands and stuff when it came to national anthem.
Right.
So different strokes for different folks at that current time. But I think that it wasn't to that degree what you're thinking past the Black Lives Matter.
No.
Black Lives Matter was the wildest.
And if they did anything, it would be more like awareness campaigns. Like let's say like AIDS awareness or
NBA.
something.
That's part of the company.
Yeah.
That's part of the company.
Right.
So for even the Black Lives Matter, for them to hoop to get jerseys, these weren't custom jerseys and stuff like that. The NBA provided for them.
Yeah.
Right? So the NBA themselves got into that political space to allow that. I thought the gesture was okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it was needed because I'm a firm believer in stuff like, yo, especially when it comes to sports, I don't think there should be no kind of politics near sports.
I don't think
that's just me.
Politics either.
That's just me. And I think even like when we get to like the level, even identity politics with the trans people coming into sports,
Right.
I just want to know if you're a proper athlete for the job, professional pro for the job. I can care less. Now, if you tell me your background, I used to be a woman, now I'm a man and I want to box, and they're beating on you or wailing on you, and you're like, I don't have a certain type of muscle mass and everything to kind of compete. You did it to yourself.
Right.
You made this choice.
Right.
Because this is the landscape you're going to enter. Now, whether you choose to jump in or not, the sport shouldn't be political.
Yeah, I think politics should steer clear from sports. It doesn't have its place in it, but at the same time, I think as an individual, if you're compassionate about something and you
take it to your platform.
If you want to use your platform, then by all means. And also, I think like if the league itself wants to allow you to express yourself, as long as you do it within a tasteful fashion that doesn't show the league or anything else in a bad light. As an individual, I think they should give you that right. Like sometimes we'll watch a TV show or we'll listen to something on the radio, and then you'll get that broadcaster warning, like the views of this individual does not reflect, let's say, the station or the rest of the station people. Mm-hmm. But they're still allowing that person to have that say. I think that's commendable. You know what I mean? It's like, listen, we know we may not rock with what you're going to say, but at the same time, we're going to allow you to have the freedom if this is what you believe in, and then we allow you the freedom to say it, because we realize there might be others like you and you might be that voice for those people who feel voiceless. So in a sense, yeah, but I think in a whole entire organization to now become a political force, especially in sport. Nah, man, we're trying to forget about politics. We're trying to be so far from our mind. We're looking for you as the escape. Why you want to bring us back in there for?
I agree with Phil. I just they don't do that currently, and they didn't do it that long.
Did not.
So for him to completely cut off the NBA, watching the NBA when you won that many championships,
right?
It says some things to me.
Yeah, but I guess he sees where it's going, right? I don't think it's the fact that they've done that sets up precedence, and then it's what's next to come down the line, right? You can't argue against it because now you've already done it over here for Black Lives Matter.
Very true, but when's the last time they've done that? And that's been since 2020, right? Let's say it's been 2020. We're in 2023. This show was released with him in his interview recently. Like, so for 3 years, you haven't touched it. And they weren't even on that for too long. That was probably like the very first beginning of the NBA bubble.
Right.
And then when the bubble continued on, they went back to regular jerseys. So I was like, this will put you in a standpoint where it looks kind of different, but...
And you're right. It's kind of hard when the politics itself actually involves sports, like the whole transgender issue with the those who are transitioned from men to become women and are now playing in women leagues. Yes, they still might have the unfair advantage, but now we're saying from a political standpoint, we're allowing them to still play, right? Like, how do you separate those two? Like, it can't really. I guess for at this point, it's going to be the situation is going to be married together until you find a solution. Just like I was saying with the washroom, right? There's only so much we can sweep it under the rug
until we have to deal with it.
Until you have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. They need a league. Like I said, I'm for them to get a league.
I'm for them to get a league. But they can't get a league, so they want to convert whatever previous leagues and stuff into that. Right. Where I look at it stuff is where it's not really the people that dictate that. It's the dollars that dictate that. Like, or what drives and brings currency. We live in a capitalist world. You had NBA, you have ABA. They realized the ABA had all the players doing the slowy shit.
the movements and all that type of stuff. The NBA is like, yo, dog, we're gonna buy them and acquire this league to spend the money so we can get the eyes that's all over there to here.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's the dollars that made the acquisition for the NBA to be to where it is and stuff now.
Right.
It's not, oh, we created this league because this league had more. No, they spent their dollars. We've already have our structure here. You want to create something else, you're welcome to go, by all means. But you're not going to get a proper check cut because we've put time, years, research in on this side for the checks to be bigger when you don't have that much.
You're going to have to grow it for it to be something viable for us to now say.
Ain't no president like the president to start. They can start now and then hope for the best and just be more the pioneers. I'm not saying you plant a tree, you plant the seed now. Tree's supposed to come up now. Plant it now, plant the seeds now. Eventually you might have your own league.
Eventually, yeah.
But they don't want to do that. Most people, they just want to come in and stuff. We just want to shape your shit. They come in. This is not your average Joseph entertainment right here in this motherfucker. And they tell you like, you don't have any rules for women's washroom rules and stuff here. You're not accommodating to women. You're like, this is my structure here. This is what I have set up.
Right.
Well, it's going to be a little bit different and stuff because 1, 2, and 3 complained about it. You're going to have to make these changes if we rally up enough noise. And when if people rally up enough noise, they might get the help. Like people might just tell them like, yo, here's a defamation lawsuit, shut the fuck up and sit pretty over there.
Sit pretty over there. That's your job.
I wanted to ask you, is it hard to stay disciplined?
I don't think it's hard to stay disciplined. I think it's hard to become disciplined. I think once you've got set into your groove, or it becomes second nature to you, and you developed a routine around it, I think you can maintain it, unless something that sort of like throws a monkey wrench in it and like throws off your plan. Then yeah, you might be down for a couple of days. But even with that being said, I think it's much easier to get back into it if it's already been like a part of your routine type of deal. You know what I mean? Like if you're used to
I used to think that, but I think everything has its like reasons and seasons, and I don't want to sound all vague like that, but I feel like it has its time. Let's say if you always jogged before you went to work.
Right.
And you stop because you have kids and everything. The way how your body functioned and all that type of stuff after, let's say, like the kids going to daycare and school, let's say it took like approximately like 3 years and you now want to get back into this groove. Not saying you haven't been a jogger for most of your life, but your body's different. You're at a different time.
Well, in a situation like that, I'll say you're definitely right. But that's because the routine has changed. Like for those 3 years, the routine has now become dropping off your kids at school, right? So that you've removed that time. But I'm saying in a situation where like you wake up 6 every morning to jog, right? Mm-hmm. One morning you wake up and you're not feeling well. So for the next 2 days, you don't jog, right? Day 3 comes, you're still waking up at that time because your body's so used to it. Day 3 comes, it's like, you don't want to, you still feel sick, but your mind and your body's telling you, hey, I'm up at this time because I'm jogging. So now you're thinking to yourself, well, do I get up and jog? Or just lie down here one more time? And then maybe by day 4, you're feeling much better, but you still get up at 6 o'clock. You get up at 6 o'clock, there's probably nothing for you to do at that time but jog, because that's what you're so used to waking up at that time and doing. So now you fall right back into the routine of jogging. Anything more than I want to say, like, what they say, 21 days to form a habit. I think if you fall out of that practice for like 21 days, then I think now it becomes a chore to now you gotta retrain yourself to have that commitment to say, okay, I'm waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm waking up with the purpose of jogging. 21 days without waking up at 6 o'clock and not doing anything, your body might say, well, you know what, I might be able to sleep to 6:15. Few days after that, ain't no reason getting up at 6:15 because I'm still not doing it. 7 o'clock. Now you're getting up at 7 o'clock because your body's not falling into that routine. Well, now you got to fight yourself to set your alarm now for 6 o'clock because you want to start jogging at 6 o'clock again. Is that kind of?
I see where you're going with that. I see it. I feel like it is hard to stay disciplined because I think the getting there is a process and stuff in itself. But I feel like if you're, let's say, if we're talking about jogging, or like say the person's purpose to jog is to lose weight and maintain a healthy weight. Right. And they started doing this and stuff. Let's say they were weighing, I don't know, $180. And now they're jogging consistently and stuff for, let's say, the 90 days. So say for the 3 months, they went from 180 to probably like 140 pounds. Right. Most of their clothes are dropping off on them. Slim Fast commercials all over again.
Yeah.
Do they continue to jog? And a lot of them and stuff is like, I kind of reached my targeted frame.
Yeah.
So they can jog less. Like instead of doing a 20-minute, they can do a 10-minute and stuff. But a lot of them would just like say, nope, I am where I am now, whatever, and just kind of kill it.
Right.
Because I feel like they reached like kind of a targeted kind of goal once they got past the hard part of becoming disciplined.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, I'm here. Goal acquired. Target met.
Yeah.
They fall off. Then I have the other pocket of people and stuff in my mind where they're working towards something, but they're not seeing the results that they want.
Yeah.
So they said, fuck the whole thing and stuff after that, like in general.
Right.
But I guess they don't fully like collapse on it right away. Like it's kind of like, yeah, if you're working out to say you want to get buff and big and trim and everything, and people are like, damn, you look good and everything. Like, I haven't did a little dumbbell curl in like some weeks.
A few months.
Yeah. Just,
I was like, I look good. I look good in my mankini already, so I'm good to go.
Aroused.
I'm looking proper in my mankini, so I don't need to exercise any more than it is already.
Yeah.
10K to 20K, folks.
10K to the 20K.
Let's get it popping. Let's get that GoFundMe popping.
So I feel like it's hard. It's hard to stay disciplined. I always see more I don't want to use that word to measure them, but I see a lot of more people who are working towards a goal.
Right.
And stopped because they're not disciplined enough for, let's say, the task.
Right.
Right? Because the task might require, like, and this is, we're not saying like working out, but the task might be, okay, so you want your podcast to pop.
Right.
Are you willing to go to these places to have the conversation for this level of let's say, subscribers or fan base, to build a fan base? Are you willing to do these extra videos and make them a typical type of way? And if your answer is yes, and yes, congratulations, you are disciplined.
Right.
But if you're saying like, that might take too much work, or that takes too much time, or I don't have enough resources and everything like that. Okay, so now you know what you need to do. What are you working towards that? You're still working towards that? That's the discipline.
Right.
If you're not, you're not.
Right.
So I feel like it's hard for them to even stay disciplined to say like, yo, you're on the course to doing this. Just stay the course.
Yeah.
Stay the course is hard as fuck. It's easy as hell to say.
Stay the course is, yeah. I mean,
it's easy to say. It's easier said than done.
It's hard, but I like I said, if you've made it a part of your routine and a part of your lifestyle, if it's something situation like that, then it just like
go be great.
Yeah, like a second nature stuff. Like even with the editing, like at beginning, it was hard, right? Mm-hmm. Say, okay, like this would mess up, this would mess up, this would mess up. So it would take hours, right? Then eventually I started fixing the problems that would mess up, right? So then instead of taking hours, it'd take maybe an hour or two here and there to get it down, right? Mm. And then as I'm constantly working at it, I'm constantly building techniques, I'm constantly building shortcuts, right? So now it's at the situation now where it's no longer taking hours. It's taking an hour, right? So now that it's taken an hour, right? I've got it down to the hour. all those extra, all those other hours that I've been wasting before, now I have time to do other stuff with that hours. So now I'm saying, okay, you know what? Hey, maybe I can make a short clip out of that.
Right.
Maybe I can do this out of it. So now I have like a set routine on a particular day.
Because you're disciplined.
Because I'm disciplined. But not only because I'm disciplined, but I know I've marked out those times. I've marked out that time. So when I wake up Monday morning, my routine is come down, turn the computer on. I'm not jumping on it right away, but come down, turn the computer on. Wifey doesn't start to work till 10:30, right? Make us both tea. We'll sit down. We'll have our tea. 10:30 comes, she'll go to work. I'll come down. I'm working.
Folks, don't use this information to kill him and his family. It's just he's giving out too much info. But you're saying, you're case in point.
Yeah.
It's case in point. Exactly what I'm saying.
Right.
Some people don't even have a routine or discipline enough to create a routine enough to continue doing that. You, who is a podcaster, you can tell the difference between the ones who first 48, for example, when I always say first 48, you can tell the first 48 folks compared to the people who are in it to win it.
Right.
You can see that as because you're in that land space. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of times when you're in that particular land space, you can see who's disciplined and who's not. That's what I'm saying. It's more of a general kind of thing. It's not more of a particular, like, look, I don't want to use workout as that thing, but it's kind of like that in the aspect and stuff wise. For an example, we're just using workout. A lot of people are not disciplined enough. And to become disciplined, I feel like it's something, what are you passionate about? Because a lot of people want stuff like, when it comes to what are you passionate about? You can't lie to yourself.
That's a key thing.
You can't lie to yourself. Like, I know I'm passionate about this, so I know I'm disciplined enough to do everything I need to do for this.
Right.
Because this is part of my passion.
Right.
If it's not part of your passion, then you're going to try and be disciplined for something that's not your passion.
Well, I was going to say...
Shaky, scary hours, bro.
I was going to say, let's remove it from work, right? Mm-hmm. And then that whole dedication of, let's say, religion then, right? Mm-hmm. But then you mentioned the key thing, right before I even got to that thought, was just the passion. If you have a passion towards a specific religion or a specific deity, right? Then you put in that work towards that, right? You put in your work towards your faith. You get up every Sunday, you go to church. You try to be the best person that you could possibly be, right?
Of course.
But that's because of the passion that's there, right? And that definitely goes a long way towards discipline. If I can agree with you 100%. If you don't have the passion or you lack the passion to do something,
you won't stay disciplined.
The discipline you
won't stay disciplined.
Definitely won't stay with you.
You won't stay disciplined because it's kind of like it's throwing off. It's not coming from that part of desire. That the passion that it gives you, that feeling. So now you're looking at stuff as like, yeah, I don't know. I was for all this, but I'm not for this extra component. Like I hear some people and stuff in certain conversations and stuff. I'll do everything in the world for my man. I heard a woman tell me like, there's nothing in the world I won't do for my man. I don't know about doing anal though. So I'm like, so don't say a statement like that. Don't say a statement like that then. Just be like, I want to do certain things and stuff for, the individual. But then now if you're looking like, oh, certain. But if another woman says certain, now you're like, no. I'll do everything in the world for my man.
Is it discipline? And can we still say there's passion involved for the worker that gets to work every day at 6 a.m., never misses a day, never late, but hates their job?
Is it discipline?
Can we attach the passion to? Is that a different type of discipline?
It may not be too far, but I feel like I need more information on the individual.
On the individual,
because I look at it stuff and see when you're putting it broad like that. Like for all we know, he or she could have like a particular type of goal.
Right?
They'd be like, yo, I'm working at this company for 5 years. I'm not gonna fuck up anything because I know after like each check, let's say a month, I know $300 is going towards this.
Right.
At this 5th year mark, these $300 not equal up to whatever the
So
fuck.
the passion may not be for the job, but there's still a passion that they're working towards something that maintains them having that certain discipline within that job.
But I mean, I feel like a lot of
that's
smarter people.
The world we live in today. Yeah.
The smarter, wiser ones.
Right.
Because the other ones and stuff is like still frivolously.
Yeah.
And then they're like, man, if I kept all that money I used to blow off on cocaine and prostitutes, I tell you, Forbes will never miss me on a Fortune 500. But here we are. Yeah, man. Let's get to the question of the week. All right. Question of the week. It's an oldie but a goodie. In a love triangle, who holds the most power? The husband, the wife, or the person on the side?
Do you know when I was first encountered by this question, I always thought it to be the wife.
Wifey.
Yeah, because usually her name is tied to so much things. It's kind of hard to pull away from her without being affected. But I mean, in recent times, I've been starting to think that it's the side piece that holds the power in the relationship. And I only now say that because usually if there's a side piece involved in the relationship, that significant other is no longer really looked at as significant. And the fact that you've allowed yourself to develop another set of feelings for this one to be a side piece. Now, granted, if it's just like you got tons of women, like it's not like a really a side piece thing. It's just like you just need to just get your thrills off. Then a little bit different. But if you've invested, you spend money on this particular girl outside the relationship because you really like this particular girl and you like how this particular person makes you feel. That particular person might hold all that weight because they can turn around and crush you. You might not mind losing your wife for this particular person, but you might mind losing this particular person because your wife found out.
I remember I used to fuck up on the Jay-Z line. I remember it's me and my 03 Bonnie and Clyde. The problem is you dudes treat the one that you humping with the same respect that you treat the one that you're loving. And I think when it gets to that point,
right,
I think that's where the problem lies.
Right. That's when the side piece get the control.
Right.
Right.
Because I think if there's a level of respect, which is dope too. If you guys don't know, there's an old school Jamaican play called Under My Nose. Yes. And with Under My Nose, the man he's like, yo, man, let me tell you something, man. Like I'm translating like the way he said it, but I like how he said it in Patois though.
Right.
He's like, you have your husband over there. I have my wife over here.
Yeah.
I didn't tell him leaving my wife so you and I can go fucking run away to the hills.
Right.
That's a you thing, boo. He's like, we have something. We have a contractual conversation and an agreement right here.
Right.
Don't go fucking shit up now.
Yeah.
And I was like, quality. Poetry at its fucking finest. And it's too true. Because again, this man's like, yo, you are thrills. This is reality. I like it like that.
Right.
You're trying to be reality. You want to become my reality.
Yeah.
So
you want to mess up a happy home.
Yeah, you're fucking up my thrills. She's like, but I want to move and live with you. He's like, well, where? In the doghouse? Like, yo, go back to your husband. Yeah. And I was like, yo, this is wild.
Yeah.
But for me, for years and years in, we've been doing this for 5 years, not a walk-on show. Before, I was down for the side piece, but now I'm for the husband. I'm for the husband. The husband has the power, he has the money, he has the flex. It's not a cheap thrill. Okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Man shit, real man shit. For you to have a side piece now, do you think you need, or would you think you need more income for a side piece?
I think I would need more income for a side piece.
I would think so too, because if I'm any kind of woman to be a side piece and stuff like that, I'd be like, boss, you're paying for part of my silence.
Not only are you paying part of for her silence, but bro, You also gotta up your game with with your significant other.
What? Meaning what? Spend some more dollars?
Yeah.
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 That's what I'm saying. That's one shift by adding one more person into your mix. It's just like, say, you and wife. Now you want to add side person and stuff, whatever. So your income has to take a little spice to boost up to say, like, all right, now I got to compensate this person with other shit, and I got to make sure I spend more money with this person to keep this person happy because I want to fuck both of them.
Right.
You're going to need the extra income. You're going to need the silence money. You're going to need that money and stuff, the funds to kind of generate for that. If you got it good like that, not even, and this is normal person, this is regular Joe shit.
Right.
Right? It's not baller shot callers, because I feel like a lot of I want to say the money chasing women that we're cluttered and flooded to see on social media, it's like they're all chasing the same 1%ers and stuff, but eventually the reality check will kick in on most of them and be like, damn, this is a 1% and it's fucking hard to get.
Yeah, yeah.
Now let me expand, be like, yo, as long as you have a job and your credit can support me on the side and stuff or something as that, or you can take a business trip and take me.
Yeah.
And I know you have a wife.
Yeah.
Let's go. I heard a woman say, yo, cheating can't end her relationship. A cheating issue cannot end her relationship. Cheating cannot break up a good relationship. I heard you even agreed to something like that one time, one of the shows. Cheating can't break up a marriage.
Not if you're willing to repent. You can't break up a marriage.
Repent.
I don't think you can cheat and be a forever cheater and with the level of consistency have it work for you. Unless you're a billionaire and your wife your wife, she doesn't care.
No, she turns a blind eye to it.
Yeah, she doesn't.
She turns a blind. Yeah. That's what. But remember, as I said before I had the side piece and stuff, and then like my runner up was the wife. So I had the wife. And the very first time I heard the question, then I thought about it some more, marinated, and I stuck with the side piece because the side piece was one phone call, a doorbell away ring,
right,
from shutting down the house of cards.
Right.
Now motherfuckers don't care about the side piece. I see people just argue and stuff. Yeah, I know he cheat. And so what?
So what?
He still come home to me every night and be like, but in the daytime, he's over there.
Where is he in the daytime?
So I was like, the husband.
But that level,
your dollars is proper. Everything can go.
And I was about to say, your dollars is proper. Everything can go. And if you're really not spending that much time with the wife, guess what? She ain't really spending that much time with you. And she might have her own other side piece.
Because think about it. I know if you found out your wife and stuff, hypothetically speaking, if you found out like, your wife had a side piece and you found out that like, yo, you were pooling money to do this, that, and the third, and now you realize like, you're part of the breadwinners in the household. You're kind of like, I'm funding your money for you to go fuck the pool guy? You get what I'm saying? Are you going to let the money train keep go? Or are you going to cut the gravy train off?
Oh, you're going to cut the gravy train off.
Exactly.
But if it's not, that's what I'm saying, the rich, the rich who don't care is like, as long as you don't mess up my fun that I'm having over here, listen, have your fun over here. I don't care. I'm going to turn a blind eye just like how you turn a blind eye.
You think so?
Yeah, some of the super rich know their wife is out there doing, but they know they're doing dirt too. So what are they gonna do? I
feel like a woman's cheating is gonna be heavier than you cheating. I feel like you could be out there married and you can fuck 50 women, and I think she can fuck 5 guys, and it'll make you cut the money train, no matter how much money you have. She can fuck 5 guys, and she'll cut the money train. She might fuck 5 of your enemies, and you'll want to cut the money train. You can fuck 100 women out there, and the thing is, she fuck 5 of your enemies, or 5 people that's not for you, or 5 people stuff that will kind of fuck with your psyche. You'll cut her money train.
Man,
$1 billion Joe.
Man, I think it's like he don't care. He out there fucking his own pussy. He just leaves me alone. I think because I think you have. I think if you know 100% sure
that what.
That is happening.
That what she's fucking 5 guys?
You'll do it. I think if it's a suspicion, maybe you'll just make it. You'll just like, I don't care anyway because she's leaving me alone.
No, and so
leave her alone.
you, your billionaire ass, done paid somebody like a cheaters group to follow fucking said woman.
No, dude, if you're paying the cheaters group to follow the sex
money, you said money ain't a thing. That's why you spend it.
Yeah, but if you're gonna spend it on that, then you obviously
then
you're
you know.
concerned.
So that's what I'm saying. So you're concerned, and then you know.
You're concerned.
So that's what I'm saying. You're gonna cut this money train off. And remember, you out here fucking like say you guys had the confrontation argument, whatever.
Yeah.
Relax. I only fucked 5 guys. You've been slaying 1,000 women. It's all the point. It hurts me. I'm devastated. How could you harlot?
I don't know.
A woman cheating is not the same as a man cheating.
Okay. All right. Let's flip the scenario again.
Run it.
What if the side piece is the millionaire, but she just loves you as much as your wife loves you and doesn't want to be anything but the side piece. She realizes you got a happy home, you're good, you're content. She just wants to be so she's not costing you. She's not costing you a thing.
So I had to have this delegation with the wife.
The wife,
babe, hold my hand, kiss the hand. Love you.
Yeah.
I got a new job. The old job has to go. I have to do all these kind of testing and everything like that.
Right.
I'm going to be a hybrid worker.
You're going to be a hybrid?
So sometimes I'll be working from home.
Yeah.
It may seem like I'm not doing shit, playing video games.
Yeah.
Just on the internet looking frivolous at shit because we have more money to spend.
Yeah.
But some days I'm going to have to go into the office.
Some days go in the office.
I have to put in that work.
I'm going to have to put in that work.
The song says you can do it if you put your back into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to work and put my back into it.
There you go.
Hopefully you understand my new job. And then again, kiss her hand.
No, again,
You did kiss her hand before. Give her the whole speech and then give them,
seal the deal.
Seal the deal. You can tell him a piece of shit. You can tell him a piece of shit.
What's not gonna happen?
Yeah, but that's my
10 to 20K, folks. We trying to get Marv to get that bread up before he pulls these stunts out in the streets.
Just saying. Let's get to the Ask the Sons and slide up out.
All right.
First Ask the Sons says, it's from Kurt D. What costs a lot of money, but should actually be free? That's dying for me, folks. Dying. Too much money is spent on burying people. Way too much money. This person's done like dinner now. They're not even a taxpayer no more. They're not taking up any of the resources. Why gotta cost that much? Why? Even a cremation shit. Like, how much is like a small canister of oil to set on fire to burn a corpse? Possibly. And then take those ashes, the little dollar store broom, sweep it up, put in a...
I mean, if you had your own land, right? Mm-hmm. Is it illegal to cremate somebody on your own land?
I don't know, something like that. Because I always thought about it a long time ago until I saw like the first episode of Ozark.
Right. When
I realized how that they were the formaldehyde and like the canisters and the sulfuric acid. Yeah. I was like, hey, I was thinking about a place that's cremating and just dumping bodies. Like, hey, it's too costly over there. Come to dump them at Marv's. We'll deal with it for you. But, I was like, yeah. The client, the cartel might move in on my office like, yo, we got some work for you today.
Telling you, it's like your whole backyard.
Yeah, like, I gotta burn these bodies by noon tomorrow.
Well, I ask because in the Caribbean, right? It's like you'll find a lot of properties where like grandpa is actually like buried on the property, right? So obviously they ain't pay for no funeral ground. They didn't pay for no this, no that. I'm just saying, what if you don't want to bury them? What if you want to do them also more medieval style, shoot flaming arrows into a bunch of twigs and just have them go up in smoke? Like, are you allowed to do that on your land? How much is it going to cost you to gather up a bunch of twigs?
$0.99.
$0.99. You know what I mean? Rub 2 sticks together and start a fire. $0.99.
Yeah.
Once it's all up in smoke, ain't nobody got to worry about nothing.
This new show is called the Podical Psychos. Your host over there, Drew Lemon. Once again, on that side over there, Drew Lemon.
Marvin Carlson doesn't want to spend any money on burying. I'm trying to come up with ways. I'm for
it. I'm for it. That's the sad thing. That's the sad thing.
There's nothing sad about that, Marv. We're trying to conserve money.
I'm trying to conserve money and stuff for them too. But this what I'm saying. Like the sad thing and stuff is that you're not wrong in my eyes, because I look at it and stuff as like, okay, you told me now set grandparent and stuff, set grandperson and stuff is now kaput.
Yeah.
Right? You're telling me now if we go about this type of way, we spend all this type of money. But I'm like, what if I know somebody with their own kiln?
With their own kiln.
I can hack away a few body parts and kind of get this down and stuff, whatever. How much would you charge the stuff, whatever? Because look, mechanic. Look at a mechanic. Some mechanics will tell you like, yo, you buy the parts, I'll do this, I'll just charge you for the labor. Just charge me for the labor.
Just charge me for the labor.
I'll do everything else, charge me for the labor.
Man, if you go get like a proper headstone, can run you anywhere between $3,000 and up.
Or you buy a decent sized stone from Home Depot, which the shit don't make no sense because Mother Nature gave them the stones.
Right.
But you get a bigger size slab one. Just get that bitch engraved and just, plop that up in the ground.
You went up on me. I was saying, get yourself a plaque. And that bitch in the den or something. You know what I mean? I ain't gotta go to the graveyard to visit you. Your plaque is on the wall. Honey roasted you in the backyard. You're up in smoke. Everything is a done deal.
Yeah, you're right.
Everything is a done deal.
Yeah, I'll get a plaque. Would you upgrade it to a trophy? You know the ones that you'd be like, in honor of such and such and such, and have your photo and that little,
the really nice ones. Yeah.
Soft things, man.
That's soft things, bro. You were gonna spend $3,000 on a stone.
This episode disregarded. Don't listen to it. This is the Podical Son's funeral service. We're gonna be going to the business soon. You want discount funerals? Come see us next month. We got you.
Come see us. Specials on the plaques.
You
take the backyard cremating. We give you the special on the plaque.
You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. Next question comes from Jessica. Why would the elites want to depopulate the world? Your thoughts?
I think less population, more easy to control. That's my thought. I think they want to get it down to a small group of number where it's sustainable. They're always talking about sustainability.
Well, you can control.
Right.
That I can see. That I can see and I can agree with, whatever. Because I look at it, stuff is there. If you have enough policing units to possibly police, let's say in your city, you might have 5,000 police officers.
Right.
And let's say at a particular shift, you could probably get 3,000 or 2,000 on demand.
Right.
To deal with set crises and set issues and stuff. If you need more than the 5,000 and stuff to have on demand now, certain things has to change for those things.
Right.
Because this 5,000 can probably are there to police the population of like, let's say a million.
Right.
If your population 1 million goes to like 2 million and stuff, you have to do that to quantify. But a lot of times it's going to cost more money. So if you keep it underneath this particular type of like overhead, you're good to kind of run everything as is. If it goes over that, then this is when we need to start trimming the fat.
Right.
Start cutting our losses. And like, this is where they start severing things. And like, even in a company.
Yeah.
Even in a company, we're like, where are we wasting dollars?
Perfect example.
So you're looking like, all right. So they're like, where are we wasting where people aren't being productive or we're not making the back end and it's costing us more to keep them alive? I see that.
Yep.
I see that.
Yep. The company makes it just that more visual.
Yeah.
Because you see that shit happen in companies every day.
They're like, what? We made so much money? Yeah, but we're going to downsize and stuff. You're like, what the fuck? We said we went up in sales. You're like, yo, guess the fuck? They're like, nah. So we're going to start trimming the fat. Okay, who got less than yours? So people with the less than yours, they're like, I just got hired last week.
I just bought a house.
The guy's like, yo, the Aston Martin is getting delivered next week.
Right.
Like, yeah. sorry about that. Meaning, we don't give a fuck, but sorry.
Right. You wanted to sell your ass into Ted. He's got a couple years seniority on you.
Right? I can see that. That's well said. Well said. Last question comes from Snake Hugs. Snake Hugs is a wild name.
Snake Hugs, what?
That's I feel like an anaconda just kind of wrapped around somebody.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best response when a Christian tells you you're going to hell? See you later. Because you'll be down there with me.
Save your seat.
Don't be late.
Don't be late.
Don't be late. You know what? Not too many Christian people tell me I'm going to hell. Only a few. Your wife tells me I'm going to hell a few times.
But I think she does it lovingly.
Y'all got some
weird,
rough
weird
love.
Weird way of showing love.
Weird way of showing love. Some tough love, rough love. Yeah, but I really pay Christian folk too much attention when they tell me about all that type of stuff about coming to church. Because you know what's so funny? I have a friend who's a shrink.
Okay.
And he said to me, if you're actively trying to find ways to be the better version of yourself,
yeah,
that's your structure right there. You don't need any set of guidance or rules and stuff for it. Let's say if you said you want to based on with God and you want to be the best version of yourself possible,
right? And
you go with those things, you don't really need like in-depth forms of Christianity or like Bible study or certain, because you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You kind of carved out a path and a way for yourself to kind of work. Now, it might become rigid because if you kind of stick to yourself, but then I think the more, mine's like a parachute where it's better when it's open.
Mm-hmm.
So you acquire these other people or other information and stuff, and it can be smoothed out possible for you. So you wouldn't need a shrink. You wouldn't need a religion to depend on. Because I look at it stuff as where I feel like you're mind, body, and sound kind of person.
Yeah.
You don't need a religion, but you know how you and God will talk and walk.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't need, I want to say, certain type of, I don't want to rob you from but let's say there's certain aspects in the world that's not a need for you. It's like, oh, it'll be nice to have or to be a want, but it's not a need.
I've always looked at it as there's nothing wrong with religion, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think more than so, you have to have that one-on-one spiritual connection with yourself,
mm-hmm.
right? And with having it within yourself, I think that it'll enable you to be more open and having that with others.
Mm-hmm.
And you doing that, I think you become more Christ-like, let's say. Right? You're not being Christ, but you're emulating Christ's behavior. Because
nice.
The one thing we can say is that he loved himself, right? He had wisdom about himself, and that allowed him to love others or be a blessing to others. And all the archetypes that we can kind of look at that in an example,
mm-hmm.
It's almost the same sort of situation where they have like that deep spiritual connection with themselves. They found the God within themselves that allows them to now express that to others. So I think your shrink is not far from it at all.
Well said.
Not far from it at all. You have that one-on-one connection with yourself, and you love you. If you love others like you love yourself, that's a problem. I think we don't know how to love ourselves and respect ourselves. Not all of us. But I think if all of us knew how to do that, then it's much easier to love and respect others.
You don't need a poetry slam. You got it right here.
That's right here, right. But
from Drew
do
Lemon.
Remember,
Drew
Lemon. Exotic review. Is that
the Exotica show?
Yeah. Let's
the
take
members
time,
only.
Let's take time to plug the members only since since it is
Mr. Morgan is only a few days away from now.
Poet Fest.
By the
Tickets,
time this episode's drop, you have one more day till the event.
Yes. So
this will drop on the Tuesday. So once this drops on the Tuesday, the show will be on the third, the Wednesday, the 3rd.
The tickets, I don't know if you're hearing this by Tuesday, if they'll still be available. So, we'll just do a reminder post right now, right there and then. So you have it. And hopefully, yeah. Will you be wearing your mankini on the stage?
Nah, come on. Unless they get the 20K together.
20K before then. The mankini might make the appearance.
One day 20K? Oh, hell yeah.
It might make the appearance.
I do a cartwheel in that shit for the day on the day. Yo. All
not a lot of support in that mankini.
He wore the itsy bitsy teeny weedy red flat mankini. That's it.
That's it.
We are here. Him to So Say the Sons and be out this piece. So Say the Sons this week says a proper choice should come from knowledge and not numbers.
So Say the Sons.
Please don't get hyped over about these fraudulent people online telling you turn your $10 into $10 million. Those numbers might not be the proper place you should start from. Look into the companies, research these places and make sure it makes sense to you there before you just see the dollars or the numbers and get blinded by them.
Yeah. Very easy to get captivated by the numbers.
Yes. Because like this man will sleep with 1,000 women and only 5 his hypothetical wife will sleep with. And now it's a problem for him to cut that money train.
It's a problem.
We are here.
Yeah.
Once again, man, we appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe, all the above. Don't forget to hit the bell notification if you've seen it on the YouTube.
All of that.
Podical Sons website. And you can see this podcast on Spotify as well.
That's it. That's
all streaming platforms possible from Audible all the way to iHeartRadio. Podical Sons are there. Once again, thank you for listening to the Podical Sons. Remember, the difference between genius and stupidity is that genius has its limits. Peace and love, y'all.
Peace and love. We gonna get Jesus in the mankini.
Yeah, you get the mankini, man. Sex Jesus.
The Podical Sons was not your average Joseph and Sofa King Marvelous.